Alright, people, I have spent a week with this bad boy. 1 week with my Xbox Series S, and I have some things to say about it. I have some things, I don't even know which shoulder is going to work with this standing desk to put this on. I have some things to say about it. I just want to talk about everything that this thing entails. I made my first impressions video, and I talked about my initial thoughts on this system during that. But now I want to talk about, after playing this for a week, do I think you should pick it up? There's a lot to talk about here. Let's get into it. But before I do that, if this is your first time here on the channel, be sure you are subscribed for more content like this in the future. Pokemon stuff, video game stuff in general. I'm going to be getting a PlayStation 5 as soon as I can find one in stock. So make sure you are subscribed for more stuff like that, because we just talk video games and I talk a lot of Pokemon as well. So if that interests you, make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into this. So I've had a week and a little over a week now to play the Xbox Series S, and I am a huge fan of it. Honestly, it is a great little system for getting into next gen without the next gen price tag. It's $300, very reasonable. It does have some drawbacks, however, so we got to talk about all that stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about, and I mentioned this in my first impressions video, is there is no freaking storage on this thing. It's non-existent. After you do your initial firmware update for your new Xbox Series S, you have like 360 gigabytes left. That is not a lot of space. I ended up going out and buying the memory card for this Xbox, and at the end of the day, after buying this, it runs the same price as the Xbox Series X. I had a couple gift cards, so it saved me a little bit of money, but ultimately, you're going to be spending the same amount for the Xbox Series S as you would on the Series X if you end up buying the memory stick, which I highly recommend you do. However, I have looked into it a little bit. If you do buy the Series S, say you already have an Xbox One, you're transferring over, you just want the new system, you can use your previous external hard drive. That does work on this system, and it does store games. They, however, do not get that next-gen upgrade. Like if you say have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you have the Xbox One version, you go to play it on the Series X or S, that external hard drive is not going to actually up the quality of the game. That game has to be running on the Velocity SSD that comes either in this little bad boy or inside the new Xboxes. So if you want that graphical update, you need to have the new Xbox. However, if you don't care about that and you just want extra space, you can use your external hard drives on the Xbox Series S. So that is a nice little feature as well. We talked about the controller. I got into it a little bit in a separate video, which I will link in the description below if you're interested in knowing more. Not a whole lot of innovation here. We got a share button. Overall, really like this controller. It's a nice piece of hardware. Games on this thing. That is where this bad boy shines. Let me pull this over here to the actual Xbox. This is where the Xbox shines, just because the fact that we have Game Pass. Yes, there is not a lot of launch titles for this. Like, PlayStation got Demon's Souls, they got Miles Morales, they got Bugsnax, they got a bunch of games at launch. But the Xbox has the backwards compatibility factor. Yes, PlayStation can play all PS4 games, but there's a whole bunch of other PlayStation library games that you can't access on the PlayStation 5. And that is where the Xbox is fantastic, because it has backwards compatibility with so much. On top of that, we got Game Pass. You spend $15 a month to get your gold membership in Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and you have access to a whole arsenal of games. So many games, and I'm going to have a video coming out shortly on my top 5 or 6, however many Game Pass games that I recommend people check out, because there are some great ones, and it's just fantastic. It's a great feature. So having access to all of these games immediately is amazing. It's so freaking awesome. I've been playing a ton of games on Game Pass. Let's go to my library here. We've got Black Desert. That's a Game Pass game. We got Dead by Daylight, Game Pass game. We got Minecraft Dungeons. We've got Destiny. We've got Sea of Thieves. I bought this previously on PC, but this is on Game Pass as well. We got Jedi Fallen Order. We've got Star Wars Battlefront. We've got Rainbow Six Siege. So there's a ton of freaking games that are on here that you can download and hop in immediately. Also, Elder Scrolls Online is on Game Pass up to Morrowind, so you can play a bunch of freaking games. And that is the highlight, is I hopped in and immediately had a ton of games at my disposal. Like Destiny has the latest expansion on Game Pass. I immediately could hop onto my next-gen system and start playing Destiny on the newest content available for no extra charge. That is phenomenal. So that alone has made my Xbox experience that much better than PlayStation, because The fact that Halo is going to be on Game Pass day one when that comes out next year, and Fable is going to be on Game Pass day one when that comes out, that makes the Xbox that much more worth it to me than a PlayStation. I've been a PlayStation guy my whole life, but Game Pass sells the system for me. In terms of how games look, they're phenomenal. Everything runs silky smooth. I love it. It looks great. Now, this system does not run 4K. It caps out at 1440p. For most people, I don't think this is a huge problem. I personally only have a 1080p monitor, so all my games look fantastic on this monitor. They look crisp, everything looks really good, so I'm not missing out on the 4K capabilities that the Xbox Series X has. It's not a problem for me. If you're someone that cares, if you're like a fidelity nerd, maybe you want to get the Xbox Series X. But overall, for how it runs these next-gen games, like Call of Duty looks fantastic, Assassin's Creed Valhalla looks fantastic. Just all of these games look really, really good. Now, another thing are the load times. That alone makes upgrading to next gen worth it. The load times are fantastic. I'm going to bring us back over here. This is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm going to boot up my save file. And it's so snappy quick. Like, it's unbelievable how fast these things load this generation. Imagine the last time you played an Assassin's Creed on PS4 or something and how long that load screen took. There's hardly any load time. Like, I'm already into game, as you can see. I'm loading in right now. I'm out of the Animus, and I'm in-game able to play, and that was less than 10 seconds, 10 seconds at most, where before it would take a whole freaking minute. You'd just be running around the Animus endlessly until you finally loaded in, like 2-3 minutes later after you scrolled through Twitter 5 times. That alone makes playing these games fantastic on the next-gen systems. That alone made the $300 purchase for my Series S fantastic. Really big fan of in regards to the new Xbox is the quick resume feature, and it's something the PlayStation doesn't have. It's something that I really like and don't know how I quite lived without before, because you can immediately boot up another game that you have open on your Xbox and be right where you left off. It's super freaking quick. So, for example, I can hop over to Minecraft Dungeons, which I have open over here. Right back where I left off in Minecraft Dungeons. That freaking quick. I don't have to go through any loading screens. I don't have to go through any, the companies that produce the games. None of that crap. I just switch back and forth. So the next and final thing I really want to bring up in regards to the Xbox Series S is just how silent it is. Like, I can't hear it. Like, I'm going to come over here, and you can't hear it next to it. Like, I got my mic as close as possible. I put it right up next to the vent. You can't hear this thing run. The only thing I can ever hear run is my laptop, which sounds like a freaking jet engine half the time. But the Xbox itself is quiet, and I've heard the same thing about the Series X. So that is a really good thing, because I came off a PlayStation where that literally sounds like a fucking rocket taking off. So there's definitely a step in the right direction in terms of the cooling systems in these next-gen systems. I've heard the PlayStation 4 is also very quiet. So, well, the PlayStation 5, is also very quiet. So, very good step in the right direction. Something just worth mentioning real small. So, all in all, in terms of the Xbox Series X here, it's a great system. Honestly, I love it. And like I said, it doesn't have a lot of space. If you have that external hard drive already, you can expand the storage. You aren't going to get the graphical fidelity that you'll get with a lot of games that are running on the Velocity, but they do run really well still on the Xbox. So that is the only thing in regards to this that I really have a problem with, is just the storage. The storage is not there. Other than that, this is a great system, especially for someone like me who plans on having both and really pick this up as a Game Pass system. It's fantastic for that reason. I can download my Game Pass games, play it, delete it, move on to another game. So there's a ton of value there for people that are looking for a small entry point. Like, it's $300. That's the same as a Nintendo Switch. The normal Xbox is $500, the PS5 is $500, and it's $400 for the digital PS5. So it's a great entry point to get in and play some games on the next-gen hardware without that next-gen price tag. And I recommend it to anybody, if you want to have a second Xbox, or if you have kids that want to get into gaming. Minecraft's on Game Pass. This is a great console for kids. So all in all, I love my Xbox Series S. I'm not upset that I bought it, and it is a fantastic piece of hardware. And I would recommend, if you meet the criteria, if these things don't bother you, picking one up. But that is going to be it for this video. Hope you found it entertaining and helpful, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and smash that subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. Share the video with your friends, grow the community here on the channel. Speaking of community, we got a community Discord. People over there playing games like Pokemon, Animal Crossing, a bunch of stuff like that, so check that out if that is something that interests you. And I do stream over on Twitch, Pokemon, Call of Duty, that kind of stuff. Check that out. We have a good time over there. A lot of fun. Also, all my other social medias should be on screen here at this point, so if you're interested in keeping up with me, this channel, the stream, anything like that, check me out there as well. Like I said, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.